support, protection, movement, mineral homeostasis, blood cell production, and fat or triglyceride storage. Know that all bones, 2/3 of it is made of calcium phosphate or hydroxyapatite. 1/3 of the weight of bone is collagen. Know the difference between red and yellow marrow. Red is just red blood cell and white blood cell production. Yellow is just fat storage. Know that the clavicle is not part of the axial skeleton. Okay. Know what a diploe is. Diploe, and that they're only found in the bones of the skull. I'll ask you about sesamoid bones, but what I'm going to ask you is, what is the largest sesamoid bone? Good, the patella. Okay. Know some basics about the structure of bone. Okay. Know that for long bones, the shaft is called the diaphysis. The ends are called the epiphysis. The bone itself is covered by a layer called the paraosteum, which is a lot of collagen that's woven into the bone. Know that the outside of the bone is made of compact bone, and the inside of the bone is trabecular bone. That means that the outside is made up of osteons, and that compact bone is highly vascularized, right? Central canals and such. Know the difference between an epiphyseal plate and an epiphyseal line. Epiphyseal plates is that growth plate where you have cartilage. As you get older, when you're younger, X-rays pass through that growth plate. When you're older, you just have a little line that. What do you need to know about this? Know that this is just what's happening to make bones grow longer. Key things to know that you'll get questions about. I'll ask you about 2 different types of growth. What are the 2 different types of growth that we have? Interstitial and appositional. Interstitial, appositional. You get questions about that. This makes a bone grow long. This makes a bone grow thick. I will not ask you about the location of fontanelles. I will ask you the 2 functions of fontanelles. Why are they important? Encephalization, and so that the head can pass through the birth canal. Okay. Probably not going to ask you about this. Know the curves of the vertebra. There's primary curves and secondary curves. Know what primary curves are the ones that we're naturally born with that don't change. That is going to be the thoracic and the sacral. The other 2 are secondary curves. They change. One is the cervical, and the other is the lumbar. Know when they begin to develop. Cervical, when you start holding your head up. Lumbar, when you start walking. Know the difference in these types of disorders of the spinal vertebral column. Kyphosis, being hunchback, right? Anterior tilt of cervical and thoracic vertebra. Scoliosis is lateral movement of the vertebra, and lordosis is sticking your butt out. I'm going to skip through. This is all. I would know what the neutral ligament is. Know what the dens is and the bifid. We talked a lot about those. Oh, this is getting traumatic. This is all triggering. Okay, so, and know about your ribs. Know about the ribs. 12 ribs. 1 through 8, 1 through 7 are what type of ribs? True. 8 through 10 are false, and 11 and 12 are both false and floating. Know some general differences between male and female skulls and male and female pelvic girdles. Talk about that. I will not ask you about these steps for abolitional growth. Okay. The other big thing to know that you'll definitely get a question on: 2 ways that bones form. Intramembranous ossification, bless you, Michael. Endochondral ossification. All of our long bones form by which method? Endochondral. That's the cartilage replacement model of bone formation. Intramembranous only happens in 3 locations. Where is that? Skull. Good. Skull, clavicle, and the mandible or the jaw. I will not ask you about that. I would study this. Okay. It's a simplification of how long bones form through endochondral ossification. So make sure you study this. You have some hyaline cartilage that's laid down as the model. It begins to cavitate in the middle and form a bony collar. A blood vessel invades and sets up the primary ossification center. As that cavity grows, a second set of blood vessels come in to the epiphysis to form bone there. It's a secondary ossification center. And what you're left with is a little epiphyseal plate and articular cartilage. So that's how long bones form. You will definitely get a question about this. And so, what's the reason for this decrease here in bone mass? Loss of hormones, testosterone and estrogen. I'll ask you about, just know what osteoporosis and osteopenia are. That's, understanding this is what really describes what that is. I will not ask you about craniosynostosis or spinal stenosis. I will not ask you about osteomalacia or rickets. And I will not ask you about paltussis. And I will not ask you about this. Or this. That's it for